You?
Yeah, MLB Data Warehouse. Where the spreadsheets glow and the takes get spicy. John, Tim, Doc, let's go. Welcome to the warehouse. Stat stacked to the ceilings. Exit below, flying launch angles, got a feeling. Tim in the corner with the prospect report. Reading fan graphs, blurbs like it's soft core sport. Junior and AA, Tim's losing.
Welcome to the warehouse with Tim Kanak and my boy Caden right here. My homie's with me right now as we're vibing to the intro song. And I just ate a steak. I actually just ate three steaks. And one of them was a deer tenderloin from a deer that I got this winter. So that is going to power me through doing back-to-back pre-recorded podcasts as we get to part 2 of my top 100 prospects. Right, Kay? He's pounding a coconut water right now. He stole it from me. That's what happens when you're a dad. Your kids take everything, including your youth. I'm just joking. All right. Let's get to it, shall we? So we are at number 50, second base, Michael Arroyo. And by the way, make sure you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse because like I said in the last podcast, you would have had all these rankings like 3 months ago if you had subscribed, and you would have all that stuff in the app. If you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse, the fScores are going to be live throughout the year. So you're going to be able to get, and you see the data where it shows Michael Arroyo, I'm circling with my cursor if you're watching on YouTube X, has all this fantastic, amazing data and the plots and everything. You get all that with MLB Data Warehouse subscription. So make sure you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse and tell John you subscribe because of me, and I deserve a raise and a tip and all the good things, please. So make sure you do that. You say you subscribe because of whoever, because John pays whoever. When he gets a subscription, he gives the first year to whoever gets the subscription. So make sure that you tell John it's because of me or because of Doc or because of Owen or whatever, whoever your favorite person is, which I know is definitely me, 100%. So anyway, 50, Michael Arroyo. Michael Arroyo had a very good spring with the Mariners. And you can see pretty solid prospect across the board here, but nothing elite. He's basically a bag of 55s, as I like to call him. So I like him more in points leagues than in regular leagues, which is why I kind of dropped him from my last ranking at 32 to 50. Because I'm like, okay, this guy is like points, OBP. I don't know. But he did have a good spring. So Michael Arroyo hit 300 this spring with a bomb. Kind of like that. And he's a second baseman. Second base sucks. So go get Michael Arroyo. You can see hits 55, plate approaches 55 out of 60, powers 55, speed 45 for Michael Arroyo. 49, JoJo Parker. JoJo Parker had a 111-mile-per-hour home run. How about that? Now we're getting some max EVs. You can see his max EV in high school like 99.3. It's like now I got 111 with a wood bat. All right, JoJo. I'm game, man. We got to see more from him before I bump him higher. But I definitely like what I'm seeing so far. Hit, I give him a 45 out of 60. Plate approach a 50 out of 55. I'm going to burp up some jerky here, and I'm not going to mute it like Doc if I do burp. So, yeah, take that, Doc. Power 30 out of 55 because we hadn't seen a 111 max yet. Now we've seen it. So probably now it's 40 out of 55. Speed 50 out of 50. Number 48, Braden Montgomery. So Montgomery came from Red Sox to White Sox. Changed stocks here. He had a really good first half of the year. Kind of second half, but a really good spring. Hit 348 this spring. Actually had 23 at bats, so got a decent amount of playing time. Did not walk once. I don't like that, Braden. You got to at least take one walk. But he did have a 93.6 average EV, 107 max only. He does hit the ball on the ground too much. Needs to get the ball off of the ground. So Braden Montgomery, let's practice getting to better angles, please, and making better contact because your contact rates outside of A-ball were no bueno last year. No bien, mi amigo. Number 47, Liam Doyle. Liam Doyle, I mentioned him in the last podcast. I'm probably going to see him. So this podcast that I'm recording now is a week and 2 days into the future. So this is going to be a Thursday release on Thursday the 26th. And I'm going to see Liam Doyle on Thursday the 19th. And I haven't seen him yet. So I'll report back on how things are looking. But yeah, 70 grade fastball. Dude throws 100 from the left side. Gotta love that. Splitter 50 out of 60. So nice splitter. Lefty splitters are fun. And sweeper 50 out of 60 on the sweeper. I like that pitch. Even though it's classified as a slider, that thing's a sweeper. Curve 30 out of 40. Cutter 50 out of 50. 45 out of 50 on the command. So Doyle could be really good. I didn't really like what I saw the first time. We'll see the second time. Comp Tarek Skubal melded with Sonny Gray. Obviously, again, I said it before. I'll say it again. Take a lot of these comps with a grain of salt. They're for fun. They're so you can see who has similar repertoires. They're so you can see mechanic similarities between guys you actually know. I'm not going to comp guys to like random quadruple A players because nobody knows who the hell they are. So let's have fun with it, people. Number 46, Ethan Holiday. Comp for him is JD Drew in the infield. 25 out of 55 on the hit, 30 out of 55 on the plate approach, 45 out of 65 on the power, 45 out of 45 on the speed. We need to see Ethan Holiday be much better before we can bump him up. Some people are just out on him. Like Ponce is just out on him. I'm not out on him. He is the son of Matt Holiday, and he is the brother of Jackson Holiday. And there's a reason his pedigree is so high because he was hitting the crap out of the ball. And there's a reason he got $9 million from the Rockies, not just because his name is Holiday. So I think we got to give the kid a chance. One partial 71 at bat season and A ball is not enough. Like by all rights, he probably should have just been in complex league the whole year last year. We wouldn't have any data on him then. 45, Eduardo Tait. Tait, love this dude. Talked a lot about him. Reminds me of a Contreras. 50 out of 60 on the hit. This catcher has a 77% contact rate, 85% zone contact rate. And he was 19 last year at high A. And he has really, really good EVs. 113.8 max EV last year from a barely 19-year-old. He was 18 most of the year. 105.9 90th. He made it to A ball as a 17-year-old. Eduardo Tait is a very good catcher, people. And people are going to look at the stats of when he got to the Twins and be like, he's not good. The Twins got him as false goods or whatever. But I'm telling you, a 18-year-old had to move across the country to a different league, a different organization, and then had to learn a completely new pitching staff on the fly. He's a catcher. He's not a first baseman. He had to learn his new pitchers and how to catch them so that he's not having pass balls every time out. That's going to take precedence, learning the new staff and managing that staff over hitting. That's what happened last year. Give the kid a break. 44, Ralphie Velasquez. We have talked a lot about him on a lot of the podcasts. I'm not going to go into it. If you want to learn more about Ralphie Velasquez, look at our first base pod. We talked a lot about him. Amazing second half. Lefty only Victor Martinez. Dude's a stud. Amazing second half last year. 43, Dax Kilby. We talked about him a lot on the shortstop pod. Love Dax Kilby, one of my favorite players. Amazing breakout. I picked him in our first year player draft in my 30-team league. I picked him in my first year player draft that I did with the scout the stat line guys, Ross, Doc, Matt. I picked Kilby and surprised them all. Walked more than he struck out. 86.7% contact rate last year in his small sample size. 90.5 zone. He stole 16 bases in 18 games and a 108.9 max and 92.5 average EV and a 104.5 90th. The kid is the truth. My comp is skinny Gunnar Henderson. 42, Nate George. People need to be higher on Nate George. Comp for him is Jackson Chorio light. This dude, 105 hit, 105 power, 103 discipline, 152 speed, 37 stolen bases last year, 66% clip, so he needs to be better on the bags. But this kid had a 78.3 contact rate, 80.4 zone contact rate, 108 max EV. So there's power in there, more than we saw with the 2 home runs. That's why people don't like him, because they think he's a nothing for power. And they think he's bad on the bags because he got caught stealing so many times last year. But he's got power. He hits the ball hard. He just hasn't gotten into it yet. He's a high school kid. So 50 out of 60 on the hit, 45 out of 55 on the plate approach, 30 out of 45 on the power, 55 out of 70 on the speed. Dude is still super raw, but all the tools are there for Nate George to be a 5-tool player. 41, shortstop Eli Willits. Eli Willits, 50 out of 60 on the hit, 45 out of 55 on the plate approach, 35 out of 45 on the power, 60 out of 60 on the speed. I'm going to see this kid on Thursday. Really looking forward to it. I'll let you know what I feel when I see him. But via video, I comped him to a bigger Jimmy Rollins. I'll see in person what I think. 40, Josuar Gonzalez. Josuar Gonzalez, my comp for him is Wander Franco. Yeah, I know, Wander Franco. But Wander Franco is a really good player, people. Walks more than he struck out. Really good hit tool. There's power. There's speed, 33 steals, 19 extra base hits. 45 out of 55 on the hit, 50 out of 60 on the plate approach, 40 out of 60 on the power, 60 out of 65 on the speed. So I am a Joswar Gonzalez fan. Number 40 there. Number 39 is Kalen Culpepper. I don't know. It's like nighttime. So I'm recording this right now. It's like 9 o'clock and there's someone in the driveway. It's so weird. Is someone in my driveway? Do I need to get my guns out and shoot somebody? Is basically what I'm saying. I'm like texting my wife right now. Is this person still there? Do I need to get my gun and shine a mag light in someone's face? So, okay. Because I live in the boonies. There should never be anyone in my driveway for any reason, especially at nighttime. So it's kind of weird. Anyway, let's get back to the podcast. Kalen Culpepper, Dante Culpepper's son. Talked a lot about him. Dansby Swanson is the comp. I think that plays really well. 45 out of 50 on the hit, 55 out of 60 on the plate approach, 55 on the power, 60 out of 55 on the speed. Kalen Culpepper, solid player. Like I said with Michael Arroyo, a bag of 55s. Kalen Culpepper's kind of the same, a bag of 55s, but maybe has a little bit more speed and is probably closer to the majors, even though they were both in AA. And Kalen Culpepper's up sooner, so he gets a little bit of a nod in that one. Michael might hit more home runs. Yeah, what the heck? This person is here again. What is going on? This is super weird, people. Why is this person in my driveway again? I'm going to have to shoot someone. No, I'm just joking. They're gone. Okay. Like, what the hell? Literally, it's like almost 10 o'clock at night and someone's in my driveway and they came back twice. Or they turn their lights on and off. Like, what are you doing? In the woods. Like, I live in the woods, people. That's really weird. All right. Anyway, 38, Andrew Painter. Andrew Painter, we talked about him a lot on our podcasts. I don't like the fastball. Not a fan of the fastball right now. Still hasn't gotten it back. Everything else is good. Look on the podcast with Owen and Doc and I and the Dynasty podcast if you want to hear more about Andrew Painter, because time. Number 37, Bryce Rayner. Bryce Rayner, we also talked about him in the shortstop pod. So if you want, we went pretty deep on Bryce Rayner. So check out the shortstop prospect pod if you want more on Bryce Rayner. But here's the numbers. If you're watching and you want to pause it, have fun with that. Bryce Rayner is number 37 in my rankings. Andrew Painter was 38. Kalen Culpepper was 39. 36, Jet Williams. Jet Williams is now a Brewer. Jet Williams will probably get a lot of playing time this year with the Brewers. I think Luis Rengifo is a stopgap. Jet Williams had a .417 batting average with 2 steals in 12 at-bats this spring and walked more than he struck out. And he had a 108.1 max EV with a 98 average. Small sample size on the average, but Jet Williams is a fun player. So he hits the ball a lot harder than a little guy might, or that you might think a little guy would. But you can see on the scores here, 45 out of 50 on the hit, 60 out of 60 plate approach, 45 out of 55 on the power, 60 on the speed. fScores love him too. 111 power, 100 hit, 112 discipline, 119 speed. This kid's going to be great for points leagues, OBP leagues. Batting average maybe 240, but good OPP, I think. 35, Bubba Chandler. Talked a lot about him on the pitching prospect pod. Fastball is great. Slider's great. Listen to that when I talk about him. 34, Carter Jensen. Doc and I love Carter Jensen. I moved Carter Jensen up in my ranks. He would be a top 25 guy for me at this point in time. I actually bumped him ahead of Briseño, who is 29. So, yeah, Carter Jensen, definitely at least top 30 for me at this point in time. Listen to the catcher prospect pod if you want more on him. But he's killing it this spring. He killed it in the majors. Really good transitions. Carter Jensen this spring, 267 batting average, 3 home runs. So Carter Jensen is going to get a lot of playing time. The projections are way off on him. So like in TGFBI, I picked him. And like, this is one of the things, one of my points to Sands when Sands was like, hey, you're going to finish last. Yeah, right. They have Carter Jensen only having 300 at-bats. Like, what the heck is that? This guy's going to get 500 at-bats. That's silly. He's one of the best hitters on the team. Makes no sense. 33, Joshua Baez. Everybody knows I love Joshua Baez. Everyone who's listening to this podcast, if you haven't, should see the video where I got Joshua Baez hitting a moonshot, and then I turned to Chaim Bloom, who was sitting near me, and I was like, when's he coming up, Chaim? And he's like, calm down. Relax. And then he literally sent him down to the minors right after the game. like right after I said that. So sorry, Josh. But this dude's a baller. 45 out of 55 on the hit, 50 on the plate approach, 60 out of 65 on the power, 65 out of 60 on the speed. I don't know. That home run is the furthest hit home run I've ever seen in that stadium. And I watched Rainiel Rodriguez all year last year as a righty, mashing taters. I've seen like, I don't know, 100 spring training games at the stadium over the last 10 years. And that's the furthest one I've ever seen hit there. Joshua Baez. This guy's power might be 70. So, yeah, this dude's crazy. He might be a 70 power, 65 speed. And he said he wants to be a 30-30 guy in the majors. I think he can do it. As long as the hit stays, as long as the hit is good enough, I think he can do it. Joshua Baez is probably a top 25 prospect for me right now. 32, Peyton Tolley. I love Tolley. I wish he was debuting sooner. He's been, this guy's been fire too. He had a really good game today. Tolley might be higher in my rankings too. He's probably top 30, at least in my rankings at this point. We talked about him on the last podcast, though. But in spring, 25.9 K minus walk rate, only a 3.7% walk rate. Tolley is really, really good. Early is really, really good. When will they come up? I don't know. I guess they're going to give Oviedo a shot, who's also been good this spring. I don't even know why they say Ranger Suarez. I think both these guys are better than Ranger Suarez. So, whatever. 31, Ryan Walchmut. He's awesome. I've got a lot of people on his team now. Like Blessing mentioned on the Outfield podcast that he wasn't super high on him. I've always been high on Waldschmidt, and then he said like, "Oh, you were right on him." So yeah, I was right on Waldschmidt. He was a baller this spring. He's probably going to be up in the middle of the season. It may depend on how good or bad Jordan Lawler is on when Ryan Waldschmidt comes up. So keep that in mind. But this dude had a 115.6 max EV this spring, 96.1 average EV, a bomb and a steal. So, and he walks a lot. And his walk rate last year, 16%, K rate, 17.6. 45 out of 50 on the hit, 65 on the plate approach, 55 out of 65 on power, 55 out of 60 on speed. And this guy is going to be a beast in points leagues. And like, it's kind of funny because his name is Waldschmidt, but like he really could have like Goldschmidt like seasons from the outfield. Like I could really see that from like a line, from like a batting line perspective. So Waldschmidt, Goldschmidt, it's like the prophecy is being fulfilled or something. I don't know. It's weird. Number 30, Rainiel Rodriguez. I love this guy. Mad power, batted angles king. Like this guy's angles are freaking ridiculous. Look at the catcher prospect ranking episode for more on that. But my comp is Augustin Ramirez with more power and less speed. Very similar hit power, I think. With Rainiel has more power. Very similar mechanics, actually. This dude is a kid. He was 18 last year. He finished the year 18.7, and he had 111.1 max EV. And this guy was mashing taters in a really tough stadium. 13 home runs at A-ball. He didn't even 271 at bats because he started in complex. Like that's crazy. 43 extra base hits in 84 games. That is crazy. This dude is a masher. Rainiel Rodriguez. I think I also threw a Josh Donaldson type comp in here. That's another good one. Number 29, Josue Briseño. So, like I said, I've got Carter Jensen ahead of both these guys now, mostly because of proximity, because I think both these guys are also awesome. But Briseño, 115 fScore on the power, 101 hit, 110 discipline, 87 speed. Oh, I should give Rainiel's fScores. Rainiel at 137 power, 98 hit, 109 discipline, 93 speed. So, Briseño, my comp is Joey Votto mechanics. 50 out of 60 on the hit, 55 out of 60 on the plate approach, 55 out of 65 on the power, 30 speed. So in these rankings, Briseño is 29, Rainiel is 30. I had Carter Jensen at 34, but I did move Carter Jensen ahead of both, like I said. And there's guys that I would have up further, like Eldridge at 28. I might have Baez ahead of Eldridge at this point. I probably would. Eldridge is just going to strike out more, and he's in a bad stadium for his power, so and he doesn't have speed, so I'd probably have Baez ahead of Eldridge, which is maybe crazy. Eldridge probably, might debut or be close to debuting, but I do worry long term because of the stadium for him. This dude mashes a 114.6 max EV, 108.5 90th. He hits the ball really, really hard. So if anyone can make it work in the stadium, it's Eldridge. 70 great power here for Bryce Eldridge at number 28. Get Anderson. We talked about him with Owen. Listen to that pod. 26, Jonah Tong. Talked about him with Owen. Listen to that pod. Talked about him also with John. Smells baseballs. So fun dude. Hopefully he figures it out. Hopefully he gets the right pitch mix, gets another pitch that moves east-west instead of just north-south. What he did in the minors is undeniable. I never really liked his arsenal, and then he was just so good. I was like, I can't deny anymore. I got to bump him. But probably, and I did move him down. I think I moved him to like 12, so he would not be in this top 30 anymore. 25, Travis Bazzana. I'd be moving him up. He's healthy now. Probably going to debut sooner than you might think. Like this guy he might be like a May debut. I don't necessarily trust like Arias and these people. So Bazzana could be a May debut. Looked pretty good in the World Baseball Classic. So yeah, Travis Bazzana should be on the way up. Comp is Daniel Murphy with more athleticism and quickness. Hit tool 50 out of 60. Plate approach 55 out of 60. Power 50 out of 55. Speed 60 out of 60. And then fScores 103 power, 101 hit, 112 discipline, 106 speed. So he's solid across the board, and second base sucks. So go get him if you can. Robbie Snelling, I love Robbie Snelling. Talked a lot about him with Owen last podcast. So listen to the Starting Pitching podcast with Owen, Starting Pitching Prospect podcast. 23, Josue DePaula. I'm down on him. I would have Baez ahead of DePaula for sure. Like that's might be crazy to some people, but 100% I'm having Baez ahead of DePaula right now. And I'm probably having Rodriguez ahead of DePaula. DePaula is probably like a number 35 guy for me now. So this guy's probably down like 10 spots if I were to redo these rankings right now. Just keep that in mind. He's going to be good in points leagues. He does hit the ball hard. He hits the ball on the ground way too much. And he's way too passive, which is why I kind of don't like him too much. 50 out of 55 on the hit. Just way too passive. I don't really see an elite tool here. There's like potential elite power, and that's about it. Carson Bench, 22. Really good spring for Carson Bench. Gonna break camp. I like that. And I love Dylan Beavers, but I might honestly, just because of the situation, draft Bench ahead of Beavers right now, especially in a redraft league. Dynasty, I'm not really sure on that right now, but the Orioles just have way too many freaking guys. And Bench was leading off a lot for the Mets this spring, so that might happen. He might be the leadoff guy in front of like Lindor and Soto and stuff. That'd be a ton of runs. So guy has good plate skills already, good hit tool, solid power speed. So 55 out of 60 on the hit, 55 out of 60 on the plate approach, 55 power, 55 speed for me. Comp is Evan Carter, Colton Cowser mashup. 21 is Sal Stewart. I might move Stewart up even. Stewart has shown way more power this spring than what he had last year, and he was showing way more power last year than what he did the year before that. And I saw him back when he was an A-ball, and I really liked him then just as a hitter before he had any power at all. But this spring, he's got 4 steals and 2 bombs, 94.5. Like, this is another thing. The projections only give him 400 at-bats. Like, what the hell is that? I have him as my first baseman in TGFBI, and you're going to say I'm going to finish last on projections where this guy only has 400 at-bats. That's so stupid. Projections have no idea what they're doing with rookies. Sal Stewart's a dude. He walked more than he struck out this spring. Mashing tater, stealing bags. This dude's a stud. Top 15 guy, actually, maybe now. Caleb Bonham, 20. I love Bonham. fScores love Bonham. 114 power, 100 hit, 114 discipline, 116 speed. 55 out of 60 on the hit, 60 out of 65 on the plate approach. Another angles guy. This guy gets to mad angles. 55 out of 60 on the power, 55 out of 60 on the speed. Air pull is crazy for him. Parade is like is Bonham. Sal Stewart, by the way, 112 fScore power, 108 hit, 108 discipline, 99 speed. 108 hit is insane. That's really, really good. Let me give you an example. Kevin McGonigal, who is pretty famously known as the best hitting prospect, has a 107 hit. Sal Stewart is 108 because my model likes his angles better. So just take that as how good a Sal Stewart is. Where were we? Bonham, number 20. Love Bonham. 19, Colt Emerson. Colt Emerson, I like is a lot more as like a real life player than a fantasy guy. I think he's going to hit a lot. I think he's going to take a lot of walks. I don't know how much power he's going to get into. That's kind of going to be what makes or breaks him for fantasy. And he might get like 10 or 15 bags. You might just have like a Brandon Donovan line for Colt Emerson, which if you're drafting this guy as a top 10 prospect, that's not what you want. Maybe Brandon Donovan with 20 bombs, right? All right. 18, Trey Yesavage, we already talked about in the pitching prospect episode, so watch that. 17, Eduardo Quintero. I love Quintero. Dude's a video game. In the outfield prospect episode, I did mention I am scared about how blocked he is. The Dodgers have way too many guys. I also talked to Ponce, and Ponce is like, well, you could see Skeens get traded to the Yankees. I'm like, who they get? Like Quintero and a bunch of guys? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, that would be kind of sick, right? To have Connor, Griffin, Quintero, and Florentino, like one, two, three. That'd be pretty nuts. But Quintero, 46 steals last year, 19 home runs, 116 power score, 99 hit, 116 discipline, 126 speed, 159 age adjusted WRC plus. This dude was a video game last year. 50 out of 55 hit tool, 60-65 plate approach, 50-60 power. And yes, he has a good plate approach. Almost an 18% walk rate, only 22% K rate. 50-60 power, 60-65 speed. Now, Eduardo Quintero versus Joshua Baez. Call me crazy. I'm going to take Joshua Baez over Quintero right now because of proximity, because of situation and team. Baez has a straight road playing time, probably this year. Quintero might not debut for 2-3 years. And even then, he's got a bunch of outfielders blocking him. And while I think Quintero has a better hit tool, Baez might have more power and he has the better opportunity. So I think I'm taking Baez ahead of Quintero right now if I were to redo my rankings today. Putting Baez over Dylan Beavers. Dylan Beavers, love him. 109 fScores, love him. 109 power, 106 hit, 114 discipline, 108 speed, 146 age adjusted WRC plus. Amazing hit tool. 82.6% contact rate, 90% zone. 23 steals last year, 31 the year before that. So he steals bags. Good runner. Good clip, 82%. EVs are good. 105.4, 90th, 111.6 max. Everything about his profile is great. Hits the ball like Kyle Tucker. Big dude, 6'5", 206. I love Beavers, but the Orioles have so many guys. It's just like, are they going to mess him up? Are they really going to give PAs to Tyler O'Neill instead of Dylan Beavers? I don't like the fact that he might get platooned. For redraft, that scares me. Longer term, like, Orioles, stop blocking your dudes. Like, what the heck are you doing? I don't like what the org is doing for hitters. Like, Kobe Mayo's finally getting playing time as an accident because of an injury to Jordan Westberg. They could have traded some of these guys and made room. Oh, well. 15, Thomas White. We talked about him a lot on the last podcast with Owen. Check that out. 14, Leo DeVries. Leo DeVries having a big spring. I've seen people put him at 1. A little crazy to me. Like, he's okay. There's not really speed here in his game. 50 out of 60 on the hit, 55 on the plate approach, 50 out of 60 on the power, 40 out of 50 on the speed. fScores give him a 111 power, 98 hit, 103 discipline, 100 speed. So, yeah. It's because he hit 409 this spring and he played a ton. 44 at bats. Like, they played the crap out of him. But the EVs were not great. Even though he had 3 bombs and 3 steals, 104.3 max, 87.4 average. He's only 19, so it's going to get better. But yeah, I don't know. Like, you might only get like 15-10 from DeVries when he's a rookie. It won't be this year, it'll be next year. But you might only get like 15-10. So just remember that. He'll be better in like 5 years. 13, Sebastian Walcott, injured. He's down in the rankings. Listen to the shortstop episode. We talked a lot about him. Aiden Miller, we also talked about. Listen to the shortstop episode. I'm going to kind of just fly through this one. But Aiden Miller's number 12. Love Aiden Miller. fScores, love Aiden Miller. 117 power, 100 hit, 111 discipline, 129 speed, 161 age adjusted at AAA. Crazy. Hit tool, I give him 55 out of 60. Plate approach, 55 out of 60. Power, 55 out of 60. Speed, 65 out of 60. So, bag of 60s for Aiden Miller. Love that. Plus 5-tool player for Aiden Miller. 11, Luis Pena. People are down on him because of the second half. He still has a above plus hit tool to me. 55 out of 65 on the hit is what I give him. Plate approach, 50 out of 55. Power, 50 out of 60. There is more power in him. I think there could be a little bit of a Jose Ramirez here. 60 out of 65 on the speed. So my comp is righty only Francisco Lindor mechanics meets a light Jose Ramirez skill set. So there could be a little bit of Jose in here with Luis Pena. And remember, when Jose Ramirez was coming up, he's known as a glove guy, not as a hitter. Remember, people forget how the superstars, they think, oh, you're comparing this guy to a superstar? Do you remember Jose Ramirez as a prospect? Because I do. I was around back then. Do you remember Jose Ramirez as a rookie? I do. 10, Walker Jenkins. Dude needs health. 60 out of 70 on the hit, 55 out of 65 plate approach, 50-60 power, 55 out of 50 on the speed. This dude is if he keeps getting hurt, he could be the next Chase Louder. So he might be falling into Louder territory. He's top 10 in skill set. Situation, he's already hit AAA as a 20-year-old, but can he stay healthy? If Walker Jenkins gets hurt again this year, then he's probably going down for me. But if he's healthy, then this dude could debut this year. Pretty crazy for a 20-year-old. Number 9, Eduardo Quintero 2. No. Number 9, Edward Florentino, Pirates. I love this guy. Amazing angles. This is the fScore champ. Highest fScores of any player. 128 power, 104 hit, 112 discipline, 142 speed. Amazing angles. Will the speed stick? That's a question. Lefty Julio Rodriguez with potentially a better hit tool is my comp. Hit is 60 out of 70. Amazing angles. Amazing angles. With an 85% contact rate and a 91% zone from an 18-year-old. Crazy. Crazy hitter. Plate approach, 55 out of 60. Power, 50 out of 65. This guy really could be like McGonagall hit tool with way more power. Like, that's what he could be. 60-60 speed. So, corner outfielder, first baseman, maybe. We'll see. But this guy's phenomenal. Future number 1 prospect here, Edward Florentino. Number 8, Nolan McLean. We talked about him a lot. Tons of really good pitches. Don't need to talk more about Nolan McLean. He's debuted. Number 7, Jesus Mate. Shortstop episode. Talked him up a ton. Only true switch hitter. 102 power, 101 hit, 109 discipline, 131 speed. Listen to the shortstop episode. Mate's really good. I did that episode with Ross. It's a good episode. So make sure you check out the Ross episode for shortstops for more. Number 6, Max Clark. People don't like his chains. Okay. So sad. As Doc says, he's Corbin Carroll with a better hamate. That's a joke. But 99 power. fScores actually don't really like him too much. 99 power, 102 hit, 122 discipline, 104 speed. There's way more speed in there. He needs to be more aggressive on the base pass. 82.7% contact rate. You love the hit tool here. Really good plate approach. More walks than Ks. But he hasn't gotten into the power yet, and he hasn't gotten into the speed. It's there. We've seen it. He's had really good EVs, 111.2 max. So he's recorded really good EVs. Everyone knows he's really fast. He just isn't running. He's not aggressive enough. He's a good base stealer. He just needs to be more aggressive. That's what we need, Max. More aggressive on the bases and better angles on the hitting. Number 5, JJ Weatherholt. Dude's going to be a stud. I think it's going to be 2020 as a rookie. Again, this is a guy that I drafted in TGFBI. Probably going to get dinged to plate appearances. Like, this guy is going to debut with the team, and they only give him 400 plate appearances again. Like, same with South Stewart. They're so stupid. Unless he gets hurt, this guy's going to get 600 plate appearances. He's probably going to lead off for the Cardinals. He walked more than he struck out this spring with 2 homers and 2 steals. Like, his batting average is higher than his BABIP. Like, what are we doing here? That's so stupid. Projections are so dumb with rookies. But JJ Weatherholt, get him in every league you can. 106 power, 102 hit, 121 discipline, 104 speed. 60 out of 65 hit tool, 65 out of 70 plate approach, 50-55 power, 55-60 speed. If he was not in Busch Stadium, power would be even better. Number 4, Samuel Basallo. Everybody knows him. No point talking about him. Number 3, Chase Burns. Everybody knows him. No point talking about him. We talked about him in the last pod with Ross. Number 2, Kevin McGonigal. Everybody knows him. Amazing hit tool. In the interest of time, not going to spend too much time on McGonigal and Connor Griffin. They're the 1 and 2. Talked a lot about them on the Shortstop podcast with Ross, so check that out. Make sure you subscribe to MLB Data Warehouse. I got to put a kid to bed. He's like literally fell asleep right here, right on me now, while he was pounding my coconut water at the beginning of the episode here. Yeah, so hopefully you subscribe. Hopefully you buy the prospect package, because that's my only source of income right now with this stuff. And then when you subscribe and you tell Doc when you tell John, it's because of me. John's supposed to pay me for writing, but he hasn't yet. John. Yeah. He, like 3 months ago, he was like, "Hey, I'm going to pay you this much per month for writing articles and podcasting. Is that cool?" I'm like, "Okay." Haven't seen that yet, John. No, I'm just joking. But am I? MLB Data Warehouse. Go subscribe. Peace out.
Big Data Warehouse. Yeah, we bring this breed. Prospects, DFS, betting strategy. John's grumpy, Tim scouting like a man possessed. Doc drafting comeback stories better than the rest. But the tools are elite and the content's free. And your fantasy trophy gonna look prestigious.